Hey girl, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here for a second, you know what time it is. I do this video every single season, and so today we're going to be talking about book recommendations for the summer. Books that I feel like you should read this summer, books that are perfect for the summer vibe, as well as my summer TBR aside from the June TBR that I talked about. So what I plan to be reading in July and like early August. So let's get straight into it. I'm so excited. I love pairing books up with the seasons. Starting off with book recommendations, and then we'll talk about my TBR. Starting off with fantasy. You know me. If you've been here for a second, you know me. These are 95% pirate fantasy books for you to read this summer. I'm not gonna lie. Starting off with a book I do not own yet. The Ballad of Jacquet de la Haye by Brianna Cameron. Get into it. Get into it. This book is following a mulatto named Jacquet de la Haye who is discovering some secrets about herself and her family that are basically life-changing, and she doesn't know what to do with the information, and she ends up becoming a pirate seeking retribution. So good. It's like, if you're looking for a dark summer vibe, like you're obsessed with autumn and you want a book that gives summer but more so late summer autumn vibes, pick this book up. Especially if you're a fantasy girly or if you're a pirate girly like me, pick this book up. So gripping and engaging because the story is crazy. Highly recommend that one. That's my first recommendation. I haven't been able to talk about that book in a long time. I love pirate fantasy books, especially when the main character is a woman and she is the captain and she's like a little bit psychotic. I love that. I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely eat it up every single time. We have a book that you either love or hate, and I am a die-hard lover of this book. And honestly, I will argue people down about this book. Ain't no shame in my game. Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Is this my first Sanderson? Yes. Will I argue people down about this book and this author? Yes. 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 I feel like if you like reading the stuff that I recommend or like the books that I like and we have similar book taste, you'd eat this up. This book is following a girl named Tress who lives this ordinary life. She's kind of this basic girl. She lives in this island that's kind of boring and basic, and in this world there are these magical spores that the ocean is made out of and that kind of float around, and these spores are triggered by water, so they can get very, very dangerous. Because, for instance, if a spore in the Emerald Sea lands on you and you're sweating, it could like grow a vine around your body and suffocate you. So they can get very, very dangerous, and everybody is afraid of these spores, like terrified of these spores. Tress is in love with this boy named Charlie. Charlie also happens to be Charles, the Duke's son, and they have this ongoing bet that he's not really the Duke's son. Anyway, the Duke ends up sending Charlie off to get married, and something dangerous happens to Charlie, and Tress seems to be the only one to care. So she's like, I gotta go get my man. She comes up with the plot to leave her island and sail across the different seas to get to the Sorceress, which is where Charlie is. I ate this book up. Like I said, you either love it or hate it. I loved it. I love Tress as a main character. Tress is just like so me to me. Like, I don't know, like the way that she's like kind of scared to do things, but like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna figure it out. And she slowly but surely gains her confidence and like starts to trust that she knows what she's doing and starts to take more leaps and chances with things. I loved it. I felt like I related to Tress so much, and of course it has that pirate vibe. And the audiobook was so good to me. A man named Hoyt is our narrator, and that's kind of where people start to not like the book because Hoyt is a yapper, but quite frankly, I love yapping narrators. Like somebody who loves telling a story and they're just yapping, like yapping. And that's Hoyt. So if you like that vibe too, I feel like you will enjoy this book. The audiobook is also very, very good, very summery, very piratey. I ate it up. We'll go ahead and talk about the only mystery book that I have on this list. You already know what I'm about to talk about if you watched my May reading wrap-up. Body and Soul Food by Abby Collette. Honestly, this may be your favorite book of the year. I loved this book, y'all. And I plan to read the second book to the series this summer. But the first book is about these two twins, Keaton and Kobe, who are opening this bookstore and soul food restaurant in a coastal town near Seattle. One day while they're on the train together with their best friend ends up dropping dead, and Kobe immediately realizes that he was murdered. So the whole book is them trying to figure out this murder in this coastal town while also opening up their bookstore. So there's this like slice of life element to it, because you get the day in the life of the bookstore owner and like them working casually at the bookstore, Kobe cooking food, Keaton shelving books, and them enjoying each other's company and their family's company while also simultaneously solving this murder. And it's just like such a cozy read, and it's such a summery read. There's like boat homes. Of course, there's a rainy Seattle day vibes, which I love. I love this book. It's just such a fun, cozy, palate cleansing read. And if you enjoy the mystery genre, I feel like you would enjoy it. But also if you're new to reading mystery, I feel like you would enjoy it. So it's pretty much a book for everybody. It's just a fun, cozy read. You know what's coming. You knew it was coming. Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I love this book. I love this book. I ended up vlogging me reading this book. It was my first hour-long cozy vlog. And I'm so happy I did, because I love this book. This book is taking place in Costa Rica. First of all, let me stop you there, because that's such a summery vibe already. Maybe like the first fourth of the book is taking place in Costa Rica before the events of Jurassic Park takes place. Okay. let me slow down. I'm going too fast. So the book is about this rich company, biotechnology company, opening up a park in which they are showing, kind of displaying live dinosaurs as if it was a zoo, or entertainment park with rides and all this other stuff. The dinosaurs are real. So they've been biologically engineered, and they now have a theme park, an entertainment park with these dinosaurs. The first fourth of the book is taking place in Costa Rica. You're slowly but surely meeting the scientists and the characters that are kind of going to be important to this story. You're getting reveals on top of reveals. And then the second and third fourth of the book is taking place on an island near Costa Rica that I believe is based on, what is that island called? Hold up, Google trying to gaslight me. Which I believe is based off of Barro, Colorado island. It's a Smithsonian Biological Reserve. I believe that that's what this island is based off of. Anyway, and it's near Costa Rica too. Anyway. Oh girl, and I wanted to study there too. I'm a little scared. The second and fourth of this book is set on the island, and then the fourth of this book is the aftermath of the park and whatnot. It's such a crazy book. It is a thriller, but this is such a book for sci-fi lovers. Like, this is a book for science lovers, especially people like me, where you enjoy like weird commentary about science, like how science could go wrong commentary. You would eat this up. You would eat this up. This is so different from the movie to me. The movie definitely has more of the thriller aspects of this book. The whole movie Enterprise definitely has more of the thriller aspects of this book, but this is a book for science lovers. But it also has the thrill, and it also has like the horror elements. Set in Costa Rica, set in like, if you're looking for a rainy, summery book, this is it. Y'all know I'm obsessed with rain. So, rain, summer, biologically rich areas. Yeah. Kind of going off of weird, funky science books, I have another science book recommendation, and also another favorite of the year for me. Entangled Life by Marilyn Sheldrake. How Fungi Make Our Worlds, Change Our Minds, and Shape Our Futures by Marilyn Sheldrake. This is a book for fungi lovers. This is a book for plant lovers. Get into it. Get into it. This is a book for like people, I so hope I'm not alone with this. People that are obsessed with like the history of plants, how plants got from out of the ocean to land. If you are like obsessed with that, like that's a wormhole that you frequently go into, I'm telling you, this is a book, like I said, about fungi. It's about the funky elements of fungi. It's about the history of fungi and plants a little bit, just a little bit. It's mainly focusing on the fungi, but it talks so much also about fungi-plant relations and how they are kind of companions and assist each other with their different growth, what they offer each other, what they take from each other, that kind of vibe. I'm low-key easily entertained. I really enjoyed this book. Y'all know I say this all the time whenever I talk about nonfiction books. I love when people love whatever they study enough or whatever they're passionate about enough to where they could write a big fat essay about it. To me, they are the most iconic people to ever live. Like, if you are so passionate about something that you could write a whole book on it, it's so interesting. And it's also about mycelium within the ground and like how that helps with plant growth and just how much fungi does in the unseen world underground. It's just so interesting. Moving on to a bit of a historical fiction, The Great Believers by Rebecca Makkai. This is a book taking place in the 1980s during the AIDS epidemic, and it's following this group of gay men that are experiencing this epidemic together. This is not a survivor story. I'm just gonna put that out there. So this is one of the saddest books I've ever read in my entire life. It actually had me curled up in a ball, sobbing my eyes out. My chest was hurting, my stomach was hurting. I was crying so hard. It's following this man named Yael and his like best friend's sister, Fiona. There are two different perspectives, Yael and then Fiona. And it's like split into different timelines. Timeline wise, Fiona's timeline is about like 2015 and Yael's is 1985. The book is kind of following Yael's perspective of being in his relationship in this epidemic, and him being within his friend group and how his friends are kind of dying off one by one and protesting and just going through it. Honestly, just going through it. I don't even know what to say. It's such a good book. It's such a good book. Rebecca Makkai writes so good. And the way this book talked about grief, the way this book wrote about friendship and like mistakes and how mistakes can be like amplified within pandemics and epidemics and weird situations. And then the arguments, the like friends falling out, the breakups, the deaths. It's so much going on. But it's so good and it's so eye-opening because honestly, the AIDS epidemic was not something that I knew a lot about until reading this book. So, also June is Pride Month. So, I'm saying like you should get into something this month. Oh, I just flipped to a quote in this book that I actually forgot about and it just tore my heart out again. Yael was busy wondering if this was the governing factor of his life, the fear of getting his heart broken. Or rather, the need to protect the remaining scraps of his heart, the ones torn smaller by every breakup, every failure, every funeral, every day on earth. And then, oh, y'all know who was president during that time. Ronald Reagan. Little unhinged about that man. This book fueled something terrible within me when it comes to Ronald Reagan. Anyway, go read this book as soon as possible. It's so good. Historical fiction, dealing with grief, dealing with sadness, dealing with death, and talking a lot about the AIDS epidemic. Really quickly, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite YA fantasy series, Cast in Firelight by Donna Swift. This is a duology. The first one is Cast in Firelight. The second one is Bound by Firelight. This is following two characters named Audra and Jotun. They are arranged to be married. By the way, they've never met each other. The audiobook's fantastic. But anyway, they're arranged to be married, but they've never met each other. And at nighttime, Audra is a vigilante. Both of them are royal heirs. And so their secret identities, and they are teamed up at night being vigilantes to save this world that they live in, because whenever they're like fighting these bad guys, they don't reveal who they are to each other. And there's this huge threat that's rising up within their world, and they're fighting together against this big threat, not even knowing that it's each other. So there's a like very, very satisfying reveal where they find out that the other one is who they are arranged to be married to, and they're already like low-key obsessed with each other. There's like secret identities, love letters, low-key. Low-key. It's so good, y'all. I mean, I was hooked from beginning to end. This is one of the only series and duologies that I've read where once I finished the first one, the exact same day I picked up the second one because it was that good and that interesting. And the first one kind of is off on this little cliffhanger. It's so good. I recommend this to people of any age, but especially young adults and teens. This feels like OG book talk fantasy. And I never hear anybody talk about them, so I'm going to be the one person to yap about them endlessly. Continuing on with the books that I never hear people talk about, I have a couple middle grades. And because I am a children's library page, I find it my duty to make sure that adults are reading middle grade books. Starting off with a recent read of mine, this is also counting for Read Caribbean. It's following a girl named Clara and her best friend Gina, who are kind of arguing and they're not really getting along. And Clara can't remember what happened the summer before when this book is taking place. There's a big storm on the way and they're preparing for a hurricane, and Clara knows the last time that a hurricane came, she lost her memory. Almost When We Were Liars, but much more satisfying, because the whole book is like, what happened last summer? Why can't Clara remember what's really going on with Gina? Like, why does she have beef with Clara all of a sudden? And it's so good. The reveal in this book had me gag. Middle grade series for you to get into. Honestly, the whole series is very summary, but I only have the 6th and the 7th book. I'm pretty sure these are. But don't quote me though, because this is where I started in the series, instead of starting with book 1 like a normal person. It's called The Vanderbeekers. The books that I have is The Vanderbeekers Lost and Found, which is more of a late summer, autumn vibe, and The Vanderbeekers Make a Wish. And then they have a new one called The Vanderbeekers on the Road. It's like a 9-book series about a kind of a coming of age, kind of a family slice of life story about this biracial family that all live together with their parents on 141st Street. They go on their little adventure, slice of life adventures. If you grew up watching PBS Kids, as an adult, you should be reading these books, because these books feel like PBS Kids. And if that's what you're raising your kids watching, they should pick up these books. I feel like middle grade is for any age range. It's not just for kids. And middle grades could do a hell of a lot for some adults. For real, adults need to be reading middle grade badly. So I really recommend these. It's just slice of life, fun, summary, autumnal books. Last but not least, in terms of middle grades, the Genius File series by Dan Gutman. When I tell you I read this entire series from start to finish in the span of a week when I was younger, I'm trying to remember how many books there are in this series. I think there are 5 or 6 books in this series. And each book is following the set of twins, Coke and Pepsi McDonald, who are genius kids on the run from these like evil dudes that want to kill smart kids. And their parents decide that they want to go on a cross-country road trip this summer. This first book starts off with them getting done with school and starting their road trip with their parents. And while they're on the road, they realize that the same dudes from back home that were trying to kill them are now following them across the country. This book also has like some historical, like landmark road trip vibes within it, because there's so many points within this book where they have like the Google Maps QR code for you to scan for you to see where the characters are. And it's just such a fun little adventure, so easy to read, so quick paced. This is such an adventure book and such a fun book. Very summary, especially if you grew up in a family where y'all went on road trips, and on y'all's road trips y'all stopped at random weird museums and random weird like welcome centers. That's the exact vibe of this book, and it's so good. As a gifted kid who went on road trips and stopped at museums and welcome centers when we went on road trips, I ate this up. I really did. My last section of this video, which is the biggest section of this video before my TBR, summer romances. These are some giddily fun romance books for you to read this summer. Let's get the biggest portion of this recommendation out the way first. If you've been here for a while, you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. Beverly Jenkins. Auntie Bev, if you're watching this video, hey, I love our books so bad, y'all. Okay, these are the ones that I have. These are 2 different series, and I'm recommending that you read both of these series this summer because they are the epitome of spring and summer vibes. This is if you're looking for genuine summer romances, spring romances, like flowers and gardens and romance and pirates and cowboys. Yes. Yes. Starting off with the Women Who Dare series by Beverly Jenkins. Within this series you have Rebel, To Catch a Raven, and Wild Rain. This is what the series looks like all together. Starting off with Rebel. Rebel is about Valinda and Drake. Valinda is a school teacher in the late 1860s. During the aftermath of the Civil War, these people are like threatening her safety because she wants to be a school teacher. She wants to teach formerly enslaved people how to read and write. And these people are threatening her safety because of it. And Drake is like, no, I'm not liking it. Y'all know I talk about this every single time that I talk about Beverly Jenkins books. The men in her books are so down bad immediately. They meet the main characters and they immediately lock in. They know for a fact that's going to be their wife. And I actually love that. Call it insta love if you want, but I hate confusion, actually. I love a good slow burn. Don't get me wrong, but I love slow burns in which the characters are locked in. The characters know that they're going to be husband and wife. They're just taking it slow. I love that vibe. Slow burn where it's giving like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Okay? So call it insta love if you want, but her books, the men know what they want, and I like that. Lock in. Be focused. Be focused. Anyway, that's the first book. To Catch a Raven is about Raven and Braxton. Raven is like a professional con artist, and she comes from a family that are professional con artists. Her mom has some history with Braxton's dad, and Braxton ends up partnering with Raven to pretend to be this married couple that is a maid and butler for this kind of well-off white family. The husband in the white family is a former Confederate soldier who has stolen like an original copy, this rare printing of the Declaration of Independence. And Raven and Braxton are pretending to be a married couple and maid and butler to find the document and basically steal it back. And of course, fake marriage. I'm just telling you. Then you have Wild Rain. This book is about Spring and Garrett. Spring is a rancher, a woman rancher. I love her. I love her so bad. And she is also like incredibly independent and just okay being alone. She's not really searching for a man like that. She's just like, I'm kind of good, girl. I'm not gonna lie. And Garrett ends up finding her because he ends up falling off his horse in the middle of the snowstorm. Spring ends up finding him because of course she's a rancher. She's out on her horse at that time. She finds him, brings him to her small town, fixes him up and gets him back on the road. And he's like, actually, I'm obsessed with her. What are we gonna do about it? Like I said, now, I love the fact that her men aren't confused whatsoever. I love that. I don't personally think it's weird that you met her for the first time and you're like, yeah, yeah. Then you have the Destiny series. This is the first series by Beverly Jenkins that I've read, and honestly, I'm not sure. I think I will recommend you read the Women Who Dare series before this one if you like more of like a casual romance book, because this is the cowboy and pirate romance books. Y'all heard the different careers that the characters in the Women Who Dare series have. Those are like very normal careers. But this series, so you have Destiny's Embrace, Destiny's Surrender, and Destiny's Captive. So, starting off with Destiny's Embrace, this is the first Beverly Jenkins book that I ever read, and I read this and I was like, let me lock in for the rest of her backlist. I need every single book that this woman has ever written. So, this book is about a cowboy named Logan and his new, like, housekeeper, Mariah. And Logan is like it's real strict around him. That's all I'm gonna say. It's real strict around him. He's kind of very grumpy, and Mariah's not putting up with that. So they butt heads a lot when they first meet, but it's very obvious that Logan is like, he's giggling and kicking his feet. Like, Then you have Destiny's Surrender. This book is about a woman named Billy who's like a concubine prostitute. Drew's like, what is he, like a well-off merchant or something? I don't really know. But Drew and Billy have like an entanglement for a couple years now, and the book starts off with Billy find out that she's pregnant. Gasp. Drew's like, dang, I guess I gotta marry you. Oh, man. And then Destiny's Captive is about two pirates. They get into it a lot, I'm not gonna lie. They're obsessed with each other though. I love it. Yes, these covers look insane and crazy, guys, but I swear these books are not that filthy. I'm sorry. I don't know why they are quarter naked on the cover, but the books don't be crazy like that. They're so good and so summery. Forget Me Not by Brenda Jackson. I talked about this book a couple months ago in one of my wrap-ups. This book is about a married couple of Ashley and Ray. So, Ashley and Ray have been married 4 or 5 years now, and Ray ends up getting in this bad accident in which he forgets his memory, moves to Catalina Cove, and starts his recovery there, and his new identity is Ray Sullivan. Ashley believes that her husband has died when he got into this accident, so she ends up going to Catalina Cove like 3 years later to try to move on past him, and there she ends up meeting Ray, who is her husband that she thought died. He hasn't dated anybody since his accident because he believes that he's married for some reason. And then when he runs to Ash, she is the only woman that has made him be like, hey, look now. And whole time that's his wife. The plot is so good and it's so summery. Catalina Cove is like a little beach resort. The aesthetic, the summer aesthetic within this book, perfect for summer. Last but not least is A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke. This is another recent read. Very, very summery. This book is following a doctor in the 1880s, late 1880s. There's this woman named Aurora. Apollo is the dude there. They are both Caribbean main characters, black main characters in Paris, the elites of Paris. It's so good, and he is obsessed. Like, the aesthetic in this book too, summery Paris vibes, but also there's like the outskirts of France, seeing rural France where there are medicinal herbs growing and all of these other things. Them as a couple is so good. It's so good. I'm going to talk about this book more in my June wrap-up, so I don't want to say too much right now, but get into this for sure. I need to read the other 2 books of this series, I know, but this book was taking it. Those are all of my summer book recommendations, and now really quickly I'm going to talk about my summer TBR, which is this stack right here. A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Lynn. I don't know what this one is really about. I know that this is a YA fantasy and there's magical tea making. The vibe of the cover is giving everything that I want this summer. So, The Sea Trilogy by Rachel Carson. I want to read some Rachel Carson so bad this year, and I did not succeed in reading Silent Spring. So maybe I will get into The Sea Trilogy before reading Silent Spring. I don't know, but I need to read some Carson so bad this year. This is a bind up. This is the Library of America bind up of all 3 books. And there's like some illustrations within it as well. Which is really making me consider reading this one very, very soon. Speaking of the ocean and the sea, Sing Like Fish, How Sound Rules Life Underwater by Amarina Kingdon. This is a book about the acoustic ecosystem of the ocean, of the sea, and how marine life communicates with each other, and signals danger and mates and all this other stuff, and how like steamboats, how there's basically sound pollution when it comes to the ocean's ecosystem because of human activity and because of the ways that the marine life communicate with each other. Right up my alley. Anything set in the water? Thank you. And then I have a trilogy by Rita Williams Garcia. I'm not sure what this trilogy is called, but it's about these 3 sisters. There's this book, PSB 11, Gone Crazy in Alabama, and then One Crazy Summer, which is the book that's on hold and on its way to my local library. I plan on reading the whole trilogy this summer, hopefully. And then my Around the World books for this summer is A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki, which is a historical fiction book, I'm pretty sure set in Japan. The Summer Book by Tove Jansson. This is a Finnish story. Finland, obviously, set in Finland. I heard that it's just very wholesome and summery and cute. And that's exactly the vibe that I want at some point in July. And last but not least, a pretty thick classic that I need to read. And I say I need to read it like every other month. I swear it's on every single TBR that I do. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This book kind of scares me though. But I know that it's rich in nature writing. And I need some nature writing so bad this summer. And this one is Colombia for my Around the World TBR. Oh, and of course the second book, To Body and Soul Food. So, too. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry if it's a little long. Y'all know I get carried away when I'm recommending good books. So, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you found something new to read from this list. And I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye!